So imagine, Jin, when I moved here in 1973, I was 5 years old, and this road was no asphalt, it was rock, mud, everything was so far away.
Yeah.
We had electricity, but we didn't have telephone. And now it's so easy to get here, you come, you go. It is much more difficult to make the coffee grow, yeah. It takes years and years. The higher the elevation, the colder the temperatures, the longer it takes for that coffee to start producing. It can take many years, 8-10 years to start producing. But it's okay, because then it'll be wonderful. So this area is called El Velo. It's the veil, like a veil, like a bride wears a veil. But I think it's because there's a lot of vegetation. Another story is that there was a bride. The husband left her at the altar, so she jumped off of here. And people see her spirit walking. So I think more that maybe it's the vegetation. People here believe in ghosts. Here, this bottom part, this is the geisha. Well, this is called porton, right here at the beginning. And porton is one of our micro nuts. Some sell as one of the specials sometimes. It can be very floral. But what I wanted to show you here, because we were talking about the landrace plant, every number there is an accession. There are 10 to 12 trees of every single number. And so in total we have 400 different numbers. And Daniel and I cup these coffees every year because they're all originally from Ethiopia. We planted our favorite, I think, 8 of these 400 accessions to see when they grow out, what they taste like, to have a different cup than a geisha, but also originally from Ethiopia. So originally very floral and having notes that are interesting. Geisha-like notes, but not geisha.
Also, the Esmeralda geisha belongs to T2722.
This is the farm that we were harvesting until here, very recently here, because it still has some coffee, but we stopped. So now we won't harvest again until next year. This farm is very far north on the central mountain range, and so it has always rain. So this coffee is confused. It never knows when it should rest and when it produces all year. So you have to stop at a certain point. Now, this farm goes up to 2,900 meters if we keep going that way. But of course, coffee doesn't grow that high. We have we keep it as a reserve. We don't do anything. We just have scientists and stuff. People study, education, things like that. This way that we're going here, variety. We have SL34, the Pacamara, and the Laurina.
What kind of the shade tree is fruit or it's...
No, this is called Corpachi, and this is a windbreaker, and we have that all over all of our farms. And the other shade tree, like those are eucalyptus, which grow quickly, but they're not native. We've also been growing out different native shade trees. Just a little bit. Not very good.
What are you
Needs a little sweetness. It's the end of the harvest. Even the coffee cherries at this point are not as potent as they are in the middle of the harvest. The sugars are not as intense. Yeah, but this is SL34. The shape of the Laurina is very different than the shape of the Pacamara. So Pacamara is like a regular coffee tree, whereas the Laurina grows very close together and straight up. You see how different, very small leaves instead of going like a triangle. This is Laurina.
Oh, so different.
Looks very, very different. This is Laurina.
这个就是天然低音 Lorena 啦 ，Lorena 低音尖声波旁的种植区域啦。
Seems to be a good harvest.
Yeah.
Looking like our geisha is all green tip.
Green tip.
In 2007, Daniel and I did a cupping to evaluate which we liked better. Because we had bronze and green, we had both. Decided we liked the green tip better, so we took out the bronze.
Oh.
But now, later, many years later, I think the bronze is sometimes very interesting. It's just that if you isolate it, only bronze, I don't think it's that interesting. But the combination of the bronze and the green can be good. Lazy dogs. This BOP is so late now that there's no harvest anywhere.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to come twice. You have to come in February to see. Not consistently, but yes, we've had very surprising crops. But sometimes we've had them like that 1 year they'll be very, very surprising, and the next year it's good, but not so surprising as the other one. So we're trying to see what the consistency. But also, these plants are adapted, to Panama. So maybe the essence of them is still not fully developed. I don't know. Because some of these plants have been here, I guess. The first ones we put in 2014. So some of them are 8 years old. Some of them are much younger.